everybody, Jean Ginsburg here and Angela Giles. What's up?
Hey, Jean, how are you? I am just, getting back in the swing of things. My son graduated high school yesterday, and it was very interesting, not like your normal graduation. So I ate too much food after, and I was really hot because we stood out in the sun for a long time. So I'm just like getting my mojo back today.
Awesome. Well, today is Tech Thursday, and we do a Q&A on Thursdays. It's all about Tech Thursdays. I'm super excited about it. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to add those into the comments as we're going along. We will be answering questions live. So if you have any, we have had some questions already come in. People who have private messaged us or left other comments, and we'd love to start with those. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, and if you're watching this, please feel free to ask any tech questions that you have, and we would love to address those. Anything that you want to start with, Angela, before we jump in?
Yeah, so I absolutely do. I wanted to bring up a question that was brought to me actually yesterday, and I haven't had time to respond. It was one of my clients actually, and I just haven't responded yet because I was really out of the office. But the question is, should I use like a standalone, like a ClickFunnels or a leadpages versus like a whole system like Karcher, for example, because Karcher for their lead, because they're thinking, okay, they kind of piecemeal stuff together, like Infusionsoft, this or that. Karcher is this complete system. It's got email, membership, lead, like, excuse me, squeeze pages, like it's an all-in-one system, which can be nice in some ways versus like using a more, like in some cases, some people think like ClickFunnels is more robust because it's been around longer, more people use it. There's just different things you can do with it. So, but it's not like a complete all-in-one type of system like Karcher per se. So really that was the question, like what are the benefits and what's the pros and cons of doing either or? So I wanted to bring that to the table and actually have a discussion around that, Jean, and
what are your initial thoughts?
So my initial thoughts are, I think if you're a beginner or if you're someone that it's been in business a little while, I think a system like Karcher is great because it's all in one. You don't have to worry as much. Like you just have one place you go, you deal with all your tech. You could hire someone that's really good at Karcher and they can do everything for you, right? But if you've been in business a long time and you have all these moving pieces, it would be a lot to migrate over to like a system like Karcher. And Karcher hasn't been in business as long as like Infusionsoft, Entreport, ClickFunnels, leadpages, and all of those. And if you've been in business a long time and you have a bigger business, you're already mired into all these different systems that connect. And that's just like that's just the tip of the iceberg. So I think it would be a lot to have to migrate over to a newer system that maybe doesn't have as much of a track record. I'm not saying the track record is good. I'm just saying that it hasn't been around long enough. So those are just my initial gut feelings, but I wanted to talk it out with you, Jean.
Sure. And I think
what your thoughts were.
Before we jump into the details, if you can share a little bit about Karcher. I think I know what it is, but I think our audiences might not necessarily understand the difference between what a platform like Karcher is, and maybe you can talk about some of the features, and then like as it compares to the other platforms you mentioned.
Well, and I'm not an expert in Karcher, so I want to put that out there. But from what I can tell from my research, Karcher is like it's almost like a CRM, where you put your customer data in it. It's got an autoresponder like an Aweber or MailChimp or things like that. You can also create like lead pages, like if you want to create like a squeeze page, like a free opt-in type of thing. If you want to do a membership where you have a membership where people pay you monthly for something, it has that. It also has a support desk. So if you want like people to be able to put customer tickets in, it's got that. So those are the main features. I'm sure it has a few other bells and whistles, but those are the main ones that I know about. So it's kind of like an all-in-one kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you for describing that, because I think I also wanted to make sure I understand. I think I had an idea of what Karcher was. So it's more of like an all-inclusive platform than having to piecemeal together things like a Zendesk and a lead pages and a ClickFunnels and a CRM, whatever, Salesforce or an Insightly or something like that. So it sounds like it's kind of a all-in-one stop shop turnkey solution
Mhm.
for your online presence, or I guess your online business, if you will. So, and it sounds like it all has like a membership platform too, so you can like host your online
Yeah, it does.
trainings. Okay. So yeah, I think what your initial thoughts were, I totally agree with. I think it just depends on where you are in your business. So if you've been doing this like we have been doing this for quite a while, it might be a little bit more challenging to switch over because if an entrepreneur has been around for a long time and has already been using ClickFunnels and all of these other platforms, it might be a little bit more challenging to switch over. But not to say that it should be a deterring factor. It shouldn't be a deterring factor, because if that's something, if Karcher is something that you think would be a better solution for your business, sometimes you have to make changes in your business without, even though it might be a little bit challenging, right? Like we can't just stay in the same place all the time.
Right. And I think too, the thing that you might want to think about too is how much time is it going to take you? Depending on where you're at in your business, right? It could take you like a couple weeks. It could take you 3 months. Really, truly depends on what you already have in your business, what you have to move over, what you don't have to move over, right? And then the other thing is you have to determine, are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to hire someone to do it for you? So there's all those moving pieces that you need to think about if you're going to move everything over to a complete system like Karcher. I actually think Karcher sounds like a really way to go, right? But at the end of the day, I would encourage you to make sure it's the right timing for you in your business, and does it support all your growing needs that you have in your business? And or if you're further along in your business, look at all the pieces within Karcher and see, does it make sense for me to use them, or am I happy with where I'm at, right? Because I don't know if Karcher has all the capabilities for a bigger business. Like, for example, like Infusionsoft is most of the big players in our industry use Infusionsoft, and they've got a lot of relationships with players out there. And so you may find, I don't know if Karcher can work with all those different players that you might be working with for like your SMS and your text, like all the different things, your accounting software, like all of that stuff comes into play. So don't make a decision lightly, like really like look into Karcher and look into where you're at in your business and map out all of your systems before you pull the, like say green light, go. In this case, I'm usually like, let's go. But when it comes to tech, like makeovers like that, I think that it's important to like really map everything out and make sure you know what's going on and what your capabilities and your not capabilities are going to be. My 2 cents.
Right. Absolutely. So I think there's 3 things I want to say. One is, so I think Infusionsoft has rebranded, and I think they're called Keep now.
Keep, yeah.
Yep.
They're Keep.
And yeah. And I totally agree with you when it comes to integration. So I think most platforms are now have the abilities to integrate with a Facebook and your accounting software and whatever it might be. So I would totally agree with you. I think you do need to take a look at that. I think it's possible, but I would double check on all of that before, moving forward. And then the third thing I would say is that we talked about people who are, who are seasoned entrepreneurs, but if you are a new entrepreneur, Karcher might be the solution for you, because you don't then have to piece together a bunch of different platforms like we have had to do, because we started doing this so long ago that we have, we have to use ClickFunnels, and we have to use, Teachable for our hosting, and we have to use a separate CRM for all of our customers, so it's like, so if you are new and you haven't had that experience yet, it might actually be a solution for you, because you don't have to go and figure things out and have 10 different technologies. You have everything all in one place. So that's something to consider too if you're just getting started.
Absolutely. So I think this is really, really valuable, and because I think it can be overwhelming, especially if you're new to the whole tech world. I love Karcher for that. If you're a new or you're beginner and you can just like pick one thing and learn it, or hand it over to someone else to set up for you and then just learn the front end, the things that you need to do. And then as you grow your business, then you can start outsourcing some of those pieces and build a nice little team and have everything in one place. I think that sounds, I mean, I wish they had that when I started.
Yeah,
Would have been
I
nice.
totally agree. I think that's a really smart solution. So that's that. Thank you for bringing that up as a tech question. And if you guys have any tech questions, please feel free to add them into the comments. We would love to hear anything that you have to add, or any, I guess, comments or questions that you have about technology. But the other piece that I wanted to talk about, which kind of was a question, but I think I want to talk about the bigger picture of this. Is part of the digital makeover and digital transformation is talking about the cloud, and it's become such a critical piece of an entrepreneur's business that I want to first to kind of mention it, and then we can talk about some of the technologies in the cloud. So the cloud is a way to have your technologies on multiple platforms without having to be all on one, let's say, computer or one system that you're using. And so and I think a lot of younger people now kind of envision that that's really the case. But when we first started in this tech space, and there's still, I think, a lot of especially even bigger companies or bigger industries who are still not in the cloud. So thinking about that, but also, when we first started, like, there was no cloud, everything was done on your computer. So now that we have moved things over to the cloud, and we can now access pretty much all technologies on any device. So that's whether that's your social media, your project management tool, your Slack, whatever it might be, everything is accessible through data that's not on your physical, like, computer or your physical location. So for example, all of my technologies that I use for my business, and I can talk a little bit about them, and you can maybe, Angela, mention some of the ones you use. All of those I can access on my phone now. I can access on my computer. I can access on anybody else's computer if I just can log in based on just my login information. So things like I mentioned, like my project management tool, so Trello, I use Trello with my team. I can access that anytime at any place. Same thing with Slack, of course, all my social media platforms. So these are a lot of the tools that I use for my business, so that the only thing that I found that is not always accessible on my phone is my Facebook ads manager, which is kind of annoying.
They're kind of a pain. Yeah, to do on the phone anyways.
Yeah. So it's cloud and mobile, I guess. We kind of have to think about it both, because part of digital transformations is also mobile, not just cloud. So having a mobile responsive platform, which I have not been able to find a good solution for, Facebook Ads Manager has been the annoying part. But everything else I've been able to gain access to through the cloud and through mobile. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that I love that. I guess for me, I was thinking back when I first started this business, and I'm like, it was just, you just dealt with things. I mean, that's just how it was. And now I'm like, wow, it's true. With the digital makeover, you have the cloud, you have your phone. It's so much easier. If you're getting started in your business now, or you just got started, business is so much easier for you. Like, I'm actually kind of jealous, because what we went through to get our business up and going, it took freaking hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of tech, trying to put things together, get things going. But I will say the one thing that's really interesting for me is I love my phone, and I'm on my phone, and I use my phone a lot, but I still find myself going back to my laptop and doing some things on my laptop. And I don't know, Jean, if you do the same thing, or if it's just a habit for me because it seems easier than like trying to look at an app, or maybe it's because I'm getting old, right? And I have old people eyes, right?
No, I think I'm totally that way too. I do certain things on my computer because just it's easier for me to view things than having to like look in my on my phone. And like I said, Ads Manager is one of them. Yeah. So
yeah, it's interesting. Dragging and dropping files and stuff. It seems it's easier on a laptop than it is on my mobile device, right?
Absolutely.
Or writing an email. I prefer to do it on my laptop, but if I'm just sending messages back and forth to people, on Messenger, then I just use my phone, and it's nice. And it's interesting because I was thinking about too, how, as part of a digital makeover in society now, like we were doing my son's graduation yesterday, and my husband, I mean, he works on his phone. He works in construction, but he was on his phone, like looking up plans and, things like that, just widening them out. And I was on my phone chatting with people about a workshop I'm going to be doing today. So it's really, really interesting how far we've come as a business. So I would say, if you could find apps to help you run your business and you can use those from your phone, go for it, because of the cloud and the mobile makes it, you could do a business on the go. And that's what's really nice. Although the flip side is I do miss the days when, anyways.
Yep. Yeah, so absolutely, I love that. There's a lot to be said about digital transformations because there's just so much to talk about. But we wanted to talk about a few things, especially as it relates to tech, because a lot of digital transformation or digital makeover is about technology. Is using technology tools in order to streamline and automate. And that's actually what I talked about yesterday when you weren't here, Angela. I talked about digital transformation and like mindset of digital transformation and the technologies that you would use in order to achieve a digital transformation in your business. And some of the examples that I used were like, again, project management tool. It's a big one that I use because that is a platform that is so important for managing everything that we do in my business. And so that's a piece that I had to add a few years ago because everything before was just like done through email, and that was super annoying, I thought.
Right.
So
I know, everything. It's interesting how it's all changed and stuff. Well, I really love having these kind of conversations with you, Jane. So I would say this: if you have any other tech questions and you missed this live or whatever, and you're part of our group, then please come inside our group and post your questions, and then we'll be sure to answer those questions in our next Thursday Tech live. We're happy to do that. It'll be really great.
And also, before we wrap up, I just actually added this to the comments, so we are holding a summit for Social Media Day. So Social Media Day is on June 30th. It's always June 30th every year now. And so we are having a Social Media Day Summit, which is designed for women entrepreneurs, and everybody who's going to be speaking there is going to be a woman entrepreneur, and that includes myself and Angela and a bunch of other people. And Angela is going to talk about how she got her Pinterest to 3.2 million views a year, which is, I'm so impressed with that. I can't say how impressive that is. So she's going to be giving that talk about Pinterest. I'm going to be talking about content creation and how to streamline your content creation. And we have somebody talking about Instagram, Erin Sell, who is an amazing social media person, and a few other people who are one's going to be talking about PR. So, and we're all going to be, and it's all related to social media. So, Social Media Day Summit. So I added in the link. So sorry, I added into the comments the link to sign up for this Social Media Day Summit. Is on Tuesday, June 30th. So that's in 10 days. And I hope you guys join us because we'd love to see you there. It's absolutely free. Okay, absolutely free for you guys to join. We just want to give back since we love social media and we want to use social media, and we use social media every day to run our businesses. So anything you want to add, Angela, before we wrap up?
No, I'm really excited. We're going to have some amazing speakers, and I think that's it. If you haven't joined our group, please come join our group, Digital Marketing and Tech for Women Entrepreneurs, in Facebook. And we'll see you tomorrow on our Facebook Live at 11 a.m. Pacific.
Yep, awesome. See you guys tomorrow.